Hi, I'm Casey Deary, and I'm going to just share with you a few of the things that I've found over the years starting numerous different babies. I like to start my 2-year-olds early in the year. This is January, and this is a 2-year-old filly. I like to put those rides on early to see if they're going to take extra miles or if they're going to need extra time. If I wait till later in the year, then I don't always get the luxury of spending the extra time or resting them when I need to be resting them. So if I can start my horses early enough, then I can kind of manage my year and give them rest when they need rest. I have had horses in the past that have been difficult to get started that ended up being nice horses in the end. And I have had colts that have started really well that have ended up being bad on the other side. So it's been my experience that if I study what my horse is telling me and apply it instead of always trying to make it fit what I'm after, I usually have a better chance of molding that horse into what its full potential is. So if I have one that's telling me by, say I teach it something and it figures it out and then it gets worse, if I listen to that horse and go back and break it down and redo that and teach them the basics over and make sure that everything there is solid, I usually have a better chance of having less struggle through the process. It may take a little bit longer, but it's usually worth the work. I've had horses that have started really bad, and I usually try to give those horses 60 or 90 days before I pull the plug on them and tell the owner not to continue spending money on it. Normally, if they have a bad attitude to start with, then they're usually going to have that attitude through the whole process. I think a lot of times we as horsemen can mold that horse's attitude by making the job fun for them instead of work. But that's not always the case. So if I have one that, as I'm training it, if it starts to digress, then I'm certainly going to try to back off and go back through my steps and figure out where I went wrong, because they obviously didn't know what they were doing before we started. So usually it's something that I have programmed in there wrong, and if I go back and do my homework, I can usually rebuild that and change their minds.